Through the emergency door.
Thank God.
What's the rain last night?
So, how long does it take you to ride? You need to be happy, right? There you go.
Everyone be careful. Don't touch this. What's hot?
That's all you want. Oh, one at a time on the gangway here. You're welcome on your left. Okay, go ahead. Breathe. I'm doing fine. This weather is not the best, but your cool bottle like got knocked off. I'm just waiting for something. You know that's kind of mean to wish, but start cursing in Korean. You're our little sister. You're our little. Make sure not to get knocked up. All right. I had a dentist. No, optometrist appointment.
I mean, you know, I wasn't hearing this before, but it's a small boat, so.
Do you remember Treasure Planet?
Yes.
Does this
Get a couple pictures of Jamie on the wheel. Captain Jamie.
I am Captain.
See where they were going.
That is so sad. Wouldn't that be like difficult?
I bet it was Santino. And if it was
really heavy weather, they'd have two people, one on each way. Right? North is that way.
Did anybody guess what this is? It is
The road?
Oh,
that would be.
to hold and turn it.
I don't know that it's only on one. The string here.
Their compass. Do you know what direction we're going? They didn't have any blueprints or anything of the original boat. But they did have like paintings of it.
That's
pretty comfy now.
where they port people sleep.
Yeah, it is. Captain's mate.
Does that include your I sleep all the way in front.
Captain mate and cook. Yeah. Oh, is that how it works? Important. Goes to
Cook is
the
big sail.
I looked up YouTube. No, I worked out too.
Bite tag. We're playing bite tag. We're playing bite tag, so can't bite yours.
I was
How big is it?
Oh, I ain't gonna do it again.
Ew.
You want to push hard. You lean over top and push, but you can't. Yeah, because someone's on the other side, and as soon as you hit the bottom, it comes up again. So you have to push as hard as you can, like this. So your shoulders.
You have to have really strong shoulders.
Yeah. Yep. Did you see the sail up top that we set? So to do that, we have to put up some ratlins on the outside. And then you walk out and there's another set of ratlins and you climb up and you can see foot ropes. There's ropes that hang down under the yard. You walk on those and you walk yourself out. And then you have to, all the sails hanging down, so you put your feet on the foot rope and you lean over with no hands holding on.
few questions about the ship and what the story is about the Amistad incident, so I'd rather address you all together rather than individually to make sure that you all have the information. And although the Amistad incident actually took place in 1839, our story begins earlier than that. But by nature, you are not, that doesn't mean who you are, that doesn't identify who you are as a human being, right? I mean, it's something that somebody else imposed on you, correct? They get underway with the intention of this only being a short transit from one side of the country to the other, right? They're planning max 3-4 days. Even if it's really horrible conditions, it's going to take them 6 days, right? So as they get underway, there's a couple of different things that happen. We have our 53 captives. Now, because this isn't set up where they're all kind of stacked on top of each other as sardines, they're actually set up where they can move, crewed by a group of Africans. Now, the assumption that was made at this time was that it had been pirated. An important thing to remember, now they were spotted off the coast of Long Island, which is in New York State, and they could have easily brought them into New York State. However, they brought them to the state. You're better at the dates and the timelines, so if you wanted to continue the court case kind of story from this point forward,
All right.
that would be awesome.
What is their fate? Are they slaves and property of these people, or are they free people? And that's what they were working on.
This is before anything else of its type had ever been tried in our Supreme Court system, and it's the only incidence wherein these 53, well, at that time it was a few less, but this particular group of captives actually won their case.
So James Quincy asked?
Aaron had his own personal opinion about slavery, but it was, you know, he had his own presidency kind of on the line.
Despite the fact that they were not slaves, he still could have paid their way back to Africa, but chose not to because he didn't want to ruffle southern feathers?
Well, he was, part of the reason why they made that decision was to take him out of the loop also. Because he was scared to death of like, oh great, if this happens, just put them in my hands, and I'm the president who sent slaves back and took them away from people, and no one in the South's going to vote for me. So he was kind of freaked out about that, I think.
This is actually bigger than the boat would have been. This is
About
a
10
reason.
feet, yeah. 53 captives on board, government-sanctioned piracy. They were able to go out, and these boats, for reasons of their design, for reasons of a bunch of different things. This is not the actual boat. This boat was launched in 2000. The actual Amistad, after the case and after everything happened, was auctioned off. There's a little bit of more information that we have, but as I was saying, these boats, this particular design of a ship was fairly common during that time. So it would be like a car getting auctioned off at a lot. You know, it had some significance, but it wasn't really that important to. This ship design came out of the Chesapeake, and it was actually the first one to adopt what we call the wine glass hull. And so it has a wine glass hull. It actually has some draft, the draft that goes down in kind of an angle, and that shape actually reduces resistance in the water and actually reduces the amount of drag.
Move your face, boy.
Stop.
That's kind of why I wasn't as excited, because
Twice here.
The same one. It's not rated too much.
Yeah, actually, I can break it with wrap it around, and then you pull it really hard, and it breaks off the inside of there, so the end isn't sticking out.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
was that real? Yes.
Oh.
What the? Oh.
Like he was walking like nothing happened. I don't know where everybody continued to walk, but he just stood there like this.
Ow! Your nails are so short. gotta get it, yeah, man.
You record me eat, bitch. I'm not the pose. I don't got my makeup on. I still got the camera on me. Oh my god. These bitches are so good. These bitches are delicious. Oh my god. Oh, everybody farts. Oh,
Yeah, yo, you gonna have it.
Go rain. It's raining. It's raining.
there, she look like a marshmallow. Over there, buckwheat looking like an old fellow. Hold on, sit there. Well, you gotta see it from a distance. Wait, you gotta see it from a distance.
Oh, watch out!
You made it! You did it! Good job! What? It's so hot! It's raining! It makes me sick!